So there's a lot of noise out there on the internet, a lot of people talking, a lot of courses that you can go to, a lot of live events, conferences, training stuff. But how do you know what's real? Who do you listen to? What do you take? What money do you spend when you're spending your education dollars? Well, today, got an opportunity to introduce you to one of my mentors, the man, multimillionaire from Florida. He flew into town on his private plane, Roundup. The man invented ARV, after repair value, MAO, maximum allowable offer. Good gracious, he's been doing this since the 1980s. Taught thousands of people. I don't know how many millionaires he's created, Roundup. So come on in for the next few minutes. You're gonna meet my mentor, Ron LeGrand. Let's go.
You can stop asking questions, get with Kris Haskins. Look, that's the method. You don't have to own nothing but control it all. Sub 2 on the 5, we gon' show it all. Trust me like you trust a trustee. We gon' give the game that you must see. Real real estate methods, you can trust me. Wanna change your life? Let us set the tone. We generate generational wealth and let it be known. We ain't playing with them, yeah, we stand with them. We getting bands with them. Open up your mind and playing fluid in advance too. We gon' give you the ins and outs, outs and ins. You won't hope for the future, ask Kris Haskins.
I just have the privilege and honor to hang out with one of my mentors, Ron LeGrand. How you doing?
I'm outstanding.
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to be here.
Glad you're not grumpy, right?
Well, not yet.
Ron, you got this new book. We're gonna get to so much stuff. Roundup. Mm-hmm. Ron, you've taught hundreds of thousands of people. Ron, did you ever? How does it feel just to have such an impact on just our community, just and abroad?
Well, I have an impact on a lot of people's lives because I really taught them how to make money without the risk that people think comes along with it. I never get tired of that, and I never get tired of teaching. People ask me all the time, why do I still do it? And I ask them, what is it you want me to do? First of all, what's more fun? And then, second, I've had all the traveling and all the golfing and all the fishing and all that I can take. And today, after being married for 54 years, if I do it, it's because, you do what you're told after you've been married for 54 years. So, frankly, it's what I do, and it's what keeps me going. I love to teach, and I love to create and do deals. Still do them to this very day.
Mm-hmm. Do you sit back and look at just the trail that you've left over the years?
Every once in a while it pops into my head, but I don't give it a whole lot of thought. I'm too busy getting stuff done.
Wow. Interesting. So what got you into teaching? No doubt you could have years ago just kind of said, I'm going to make money and live my life.
Yeah, what fun is that? That sounds boring. For about 5 years I wasn't teaching, I was trying to figure out what to do. And I first started in 1982. And about 5 years into it, well, actually about 3 or 4 years into it, people started asking me, how do you do it? What do you do? And so forth. I got tired of saying the same thing over and again. I got this brainy idea why don't I just do an all-day seminar? So I did, and I charged $10. And lo and behold, people showed up. I couldn't believe it. People showed up to listen to me. And I said, well, crap. Next time I charged $395 for a whole weekend, and I still had some show up. Not as many, but I recorded that one. And that was my first seminar so that I didn't have to keep saying the same things over and over again. I had no idea I would be doing the teaching part of the business. I was just trying to make money to survive and eat when I first started.
Wow. Ron LeGrand, trying to survive and eat. I mean, it doesn't even go together nowadays.
Well, I had nothing to fall back on. Just me, and I quit my job. I could either go get another job or I could keep doing what I'm doing. Fortunately, I kept going.
I'm thankful you did, Ron. I'm thankful you've changed my life, the way that I do business. Roundup, I have to frame this up for you. We are in Virginia Beach at the Westin Hotel. Ron flies in today on his private plane. I would like to know a little bit. Could you give me a snapshot of your life in 82 to 85 as it compares to what it is today?
That's easy. Back then I was broke. Now I'm not. What else you want to know? By the way, I've been broken. I've been rich. Rich is a lot better than broke. But broke's a temporary condition. It all takes a deal or two, and you're done with that. You stair step your way up, just like most people do. Start with some houses. I still do houses to this very day. But now I'm in a commercial as well, have been for quite a while. I'm just a deal maker. I love making the deals.
So you live for the deals?
I live for the deals.
I know I've seen you teach, Ron. You say you love to work. I've seen you say with a straight face, I work. I wake up and I work.
I do.
I go home and I work. Where did you get this work ethic from?
Probably from my dad, because that's all he ever did his whole life was work. I only work a half a day, Kris. I just decide when the 12 hours starts and when it stops. I really do work about 12 hours a day. Well, I don't know. Some people call it work. I don't call it work. It's not work to me. It's what I do. It's fun. And, you know, I'm working usually my brain. I don't do the sweat stuff anymore. Those days are over. But I like working. I like getting things done. I like seeing things happen. I bore easy. But I do watch TV at night. I have my whole list of shows that are being taped. You know, the rest of the time, I'd just rather work.
I've heard you mention that patience is a liability, Ron.
I agree. Patience is absolutely a liability. Somebody's got to get stuff done. And if the person at the top isn't driving the machine and killing the bottlenecks, and nothing going to get done. So frankly, if you're too patient, that's all you got is a bunch of bottlenecks. I move things fast. I have a company called Global Publishing, and I don't really work there. It's run by others. My job is to actually just teach when I want to teach, and I do some writing, and I create chaos. And by chaos, I mean I keep the machine moving, and you know, they do the work, but somebody has to be the guiding force, and that's me. And that's really all I am today, is the guiding force. Sometimes I show up at the crack of noon. Most of the work I do today is from my home.
How do you come up with these visions, Ron? I mean, I think as the internet is changing what an entrepreneur looks like, no doubt an entrepreneur looks different today than it did.
Absolutely.
How do you continually have the vision, Ron? How in the world do you keep thinking forward?
Well, the vision is what the leader has. I think you may be referring to the minutia or the grunt work that's required to get all this stuff done. Is that correct?
Well, I'm thinking you have to have the vision in order to delegate what has to get. You have to be able to delegate it.
Well, I have to delegate it, but then they probably delegating it to some other folks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 50, 60 people in my company. I don't talk to more than 5 or 6 of them. Mm-hmm. But delegating is the key. And it took me a long time to figure that out.
Tell me about that.
A lot of years. That's why I got this book here.
Yeah.
It's all about delegating. The less I do, the more I make.
Let's go.
For 20 years, you know, I had to do it all myself. Who could be smarter than me? Who could do it better than me? If I didn't have my hands in it, it was going to go to crap for sure. I absolutely knew it. And gradually, I had no choice but to delegate things that I just can't do or wouldn't do or wasn't qualified to do, especially when the internet came on board, because I'm not technically stupid, but you can't call me technically savvy either. I had to learn some stuff over the years, but when it was for a long time, I don't want anything to do with it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So I had to delegate it because I didn't know how to do it. Still don't do most of it. I delegate everything that has to do with the internet. Gotcha. Except maybe I buy stuff on Amazon. Okay, I do that myself. So after a while, you start delegating, and pretty soon you get to like it. And today, I don't want to do anything. I delegate everything. And this is true. The less I do, the more I make. That's what that's about.
How did you come up with this philosophy?
It just came to me one day because I learned, get out of your own way and let other people do what they do best for a very small amount of money so you can focus on growing your business. In other words, all I do is make decisions. And that's all anybody should be doing in business, and delegate everything else. But it's so hard for a man. You men, it is so hard. I know, it's testosterone. Take a pill, get over it. Let everybody, here's what I tell my students. There is not one thing you do in your business that somebody else can't do for you. And wow. I mean it. And probably better than you. Not one thing, including making decisions. Because I don't do that in a lot of my activities. I let other people do it.
Gracious.
I know it's hard for a man to understand. I don't write checks. I don't sign checks. I don't even tell them what to spend. Try that one on. Not probably the way you ought to run your business, but you know, I'm telling you, I got to the point in my life I just don't want to do anything except what I want to do.
What is it that you want to do? Ron LeGrand.
Well, for one thing right now, I'm going through a lot of commercial projects with my students. I've got a mastermind group of commercial students, and they send me these projects, and I'm telling you, I get them almost every single day. So my job is to, are they worth doing or not? If they're worth doing, okay, create offers, get the offers out, and then get the projects to a conclusion. And whatever we do, I'm not building, I'm not developing anymore. I'm done with
You
that.
mentioned that.
But what I like doing a lot is taking land and raising the value of it and selling the land because it's so much easier. That keeps me some busy. I do houses still. I don't have much to do with them, but we still do them. And then I still work at Global and teach and so forth. So I don't have a shortage of stuff to do. And then every once in a while I sit down and write.
Good book you got there. I know in the book you talk about the 5 steps to any business, Ron. Did you come up with that?
Yes, I did. 5 steps to success. Number 1, locate prospects. Because if you don't do that one, you don't need the other 4. You don't have a business. Okay. Fortunately, that's all pretty much done for us in real estate today, isn't it?
Yep.
Number 2 is pre-screen the prospects. Number 3 is construct and present offers. And in my world today, the sellers construct and present offers to us. We just ask them questions. And number 4 is number 4 is you got to get it under contract. And then number 5 is close quickly so we can get paid. So if you take a real hard look, those are the steps to any 5 steps to any business.
Yeah, Ron, you opened up my mind. I thought I was going to be a real estate guy to the death. Like when I learned real estate in '04, I'm like, this is it for me.
Yeah,
Then listening to your content, I'm like, you know what? Real estate is just another business.
it is. Just another product. You run it like any other business.
Another product.
Except it has such huge advantages, Chris. Show me a business where I can put up $100 deposit to buy a house and flip it without even touching it, like you do, and make 20 grand. Show me a business where my operating cost every month, is practically nothing. Practically nothing. I had a restaurant, and fortunately I got rid of that thing. I had 6 of them altogether. Okay, I'm a slow learner.
We hear you love your restaurants.
Oh yeah, not anymore. Anyway, I spent it cost me $100,000 a month to break even. And many months I did not make that, and I had to write a check. Okay, think of the operating cost of that compared to what pathetic little money it could have made, compared to what we do.
Yeah.
Okay, in my restaurant, I just couldn't figure out a way to sell a filet mignon and make $20,000, and yet I had to spend 100 grand every month to stay open. Look what we do. We put up nothing. We have no risk. And literally, we have almost no operating costs, and we get these great big high transaction value checks. That's a very rare business. People sometimes don't think about it that way.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, well, I do. I do. I don't even want to tell you some stories of what I'm working on right now. Your listeners wouldn't believe them.
Maybe you can share that tomorrow in class.
Maybe.
I heard you mentioned, let's stay here for risk, Ron. I think that I would like to know your opinion, your philosophy on risk. Where do you stand with that?
I don't like it. I've had my share of it. I've taken my hits. And the biggest mistake people make in real estate or any other business, in my opinion, is guaranteeing debt. We don't guarantee debt on my planet. We don't need to guarantee debt to buy houses. We can buy all of them we want without ever going into a bank, period. And you know that, and you teach that. I've taught it for years. I see people going into the bank and borrowing money and guaranteeing debt. And if it don't work out, there we go. We got to start all over again, especially after '08. '08 was not a good year for me when I had commercial projects in 9 different states and over $50 million worth of personally guaranteed debt.
Wow.
Did not work out well. Never going back.
Wow.
All right. So big mistake, guaranteed debt. Don't need to do it in our world. Learn how to do it without money, and you will never need the money, and that'll eliminate most of your risk right there. Plus, we use attorneys. Every time we buy and sell, we use attorneys, and we don't make big promises we can't keep and say stupid stuff that we don't even know for sure we're going to be able to deliver or not. We don't write big checks unless we're clearly fluent enough in this business to know that we're going to get that big check back quickly with a bigger check. Mm-hmm. If I want to write a check to buy a house, pay cash for it, that's okay. As long as I sell that house and get a great bigger check back, it's fine. But most people who are writing these big checks, they're just hoping it works out okay, and then need to spend more time getting training and less time getting into the school of hard knocks, like I did. A little bit of education goes a long way to saving you some really hard lessons in the real world.
And a lot of this stuff you offer to Roundup family. I'm going to let you keep going. We put the link to some of your training, Ron. The link is going to be in this video description. Roundup. This is one of my mentors, and I'm just honored to be able to hang out with him. Go to that link below, and it'll take you to all of Ron's all of your training. Actually, we'll get to a little bit.
Well,
of
not hard to find.
Got you that. Advice for newbies, Ron. Somebody that's just getting into business.
Okay. Well, when I started, I was a young man, cocky, full of myself, and would not accept advice, would not ask for advice, had all the answers, knew it all. After you do a few deals, you know it all, which the older you get, the less you know you know.
Unless you know, you know.
For a person's coming in, take a little time, get yourself educated by people who actually know what they're doing, not people who say they know what they're doing, which isn't hard to distinguish the real players from the talkers. Get the right education and learn how to do the business. It's not that hard. It's really not a hard business, but you can really make it hard if you do all the wrong stuff. Apply that to delegation and automation. And then you get your time back. See, the biggest thing I see people doing is they're wasting all their time doing crap that don't even matter, trying to fill up a day. This is a part-time business, not a full-time business. And if you can't do it part-time, you're not going to do it full-time either. It just gives you more money to waste, because most of everything is done for you today with this world we have and the automation that we build into this, our company. Everything's automated, and if it isn't, we don't do anything because we delegate it or it's automated and we don't have to do it. For example, we don't take inbound calls from buyers or sellers. I mean, imagine that. We don't take inbound calls. I don't talk to anybody. We don't talk to anybody until we know why we should be talking to them and are predisposed to do business with them. We don't go show houses. We don't do all that stuff that people think is involved in this business. So if you use the automation and the outsourcing, we have people answering the phone for you. We have people making outbound calls for you. We have virtual assistants doing all the work for you. So all you got to do is, again, make decisions on who I want to buy from and who I want to sell to. And that's really all I do in real estate. If I told you how much time I actually put in real estate, you wouldn't believe me. But it isn't much in the single family houses. And sometimes I feel guilty and want to give the money back. But the feeling doesn't last long. It goes away quickly. When you get to where you can make money easily, it kind of creates a little guilt, but you'll get over it.
In your book, you've got go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's it.
In your book, you've got automate or die. I heard you talk about automation.
Yep.
Automate or die.
Yep. See, it says automate or die right there. Because the truth is, you don't have two choices. We're all trained from birth to have our hands in everything. We're all trained that we have to do all the minutia stuff. It's not our fault, really. That's everybody we hang around with. The whole time we're growing up, we went to school together. They don't talk about automation. They talk about getting stuff done.
Doing stuff.
So it's only natural that one would get to the opinion where they got to have their hands in everything. I know I did, man. I made every single decision for a long time before I decided to turn it loose. And, kind of by accident, kind of by force, I had to delegate stuff I couldn't get done. And it worked out well, and I started doing that more, and it worked out well. And next thing you know, not very long later, I was delegating everything. And today, I'm telling you, I delegate everything.
Wow. In
fact, I got grease on my back, so if a monkey jumps on my shoulders, he can't hang on, man. And the older I get, the less I want to do.
Well, my next question is, how does one? Okay, let me ask. For me, like I started small. Like I remember the thing that
Didn't
changed.
we all?
I mean, with delegation, Ron, I started with hiring a housekeeper. That changed my view on delegation.
Yep.
And washing clothes.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
I never thought that
Got it.
washing clothes would be such of a big deal. A time waster.
Got it.
Go.
Same thing here. My first secretary was my 16-year-old daughter, and I once told her the only reason I had you was to work cheap while you were young. I got that out of her. She was my first secretary, and then I just started adding things that I want to get out of my life. Now I'm telling you, when the internet came along, which is in the mid '80s, you may not remember that. You don't remember the Apple Macintosh sitting on your desk? Anyway, as the internet progressed and things started getting all these systems that we can just log into today. I mean, anything you want done for you, you can get done probably online. And if not, most certainly by somebody else that'll do it for you. And you find those people online if you want. So we've plugged all that in. And, come get trained by me. Today you're going to get implementing before you even leave the building, which is actually a big secret as to why people succeed and why people don't. There's a lot of people out there teaching real estate, but if we don't get them to do the implementation part, then they're going to go home just another seminar. We train them to implement right there.
Implementation.
Yep.
You are an implementation master.
I am.
Seeing you. Let's get this done right now.
Yep. Learning it without implementation is worthless. Learning and then implementation without automation is just another job. Want to get to the top, you got to learn it and you got to get it implemented. You got to get it automated and get out of the way, so it'll work without you.
But I mean, even Ron, the masters. Do you have could you give us a secret to implementation? Because we may learn something, but we'll say, I know you have that thing on. You mentioned in one of your boot camps I went to. You have a section, things to do now.
Yeah.
Things to do now. I mean,
Well, I think what you're looking at, it was in my business management boot camp.
Yeah.
And I make them say, here are the things only I should be doing.
Only I should.
And this better be a very short list. Okay? And then here are things I can have others start and I'll finish. And that's also a very short list. And the deal is to get I out of the equation as fast as possible.
We got to take notes on this one, Round. Wow.
Well, I mean, take a look at the big companies. Okay, it's impossible for the owner or the leader to do all the work. You have no choice. You have to delegate. Okay, the only way you're going to delegate and keep going is to have systems. Which, we thank McDonald's for that back in the 50s. I read the book Behind the Golden Arches. Ray Kroc started it. Look, our fast food industry wouldn't be what it is today.
Yeah.
If you remember the movie, what was the name of the movie? I forgot the name of the movie.
I can't remember.
See him out on the tennis court where he was laying out the inside of that building. I'll never forget that scene.
Sketching it out.
That's exactly what automation is about. How can I get to a point A, point B without double working? And then, of course, in our world, how do we get somebody else to do all that stuff so we can focus again on thinking and growing? People ask me if I drive my own plane. Are you kidding me? That's a good way for me to die. That's what that is. Who would want to do that anyway? I sit back there and get something done. I went through several projects just getting here today. So I don't waste time. I hate wasting time. It kills me.
I know that.
I cannot sit idle. I cannot understand why people can come lay on the beach all day and intentionally get burnt. No, I don't get it. I was raised on the beach. Not on me, brother. I've got to be doing something all the time.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and there's no drugs involved. That's just my personality. I got to be working.
Maybe it's coffee. I don't know.
Nah, probably not.
All right. Ron, did you ever think you'd have such an impact on, I guess, in Northern America, United States?
No, I never did. Never even gave it a thought. And as the years progressed, more and more people started doing what I do and teaching others and then teaching others and spreads exponentially. No, nobody ever thinks like that when they start. Most people just trying to get to the next day and the next week and the next month, as was I. I was about 7 years in before I started creating my first course.
7 years.
That's where I really learned to teach. That's where I really learned that I love teaching.
Ron, I was just thinking about our elections. I feel like our country is so divided. I'm looking at the last election.
That's for sure.
Yeah, our last election results, 62 million to 65 million popular vote. In your opinion, what can we do to come together to unite to have a successful? I feel like United States, it is a business. How are we going to? In your opinion, how do you view that?
Well, just like you do, we definitely do need to come together, quit all this squabbling. And frankly, I'd just vote everybody out of Congress and start all over again. And obviously there's some rules that need to be changed, but I mean, we're never going to stop having differences of opinions, as we should. But I just don't see why we have to be fighting all the time and trying to kill each other. And I'm talking about Washington, so I'm not talking about the rest of the country. So if you're asking me how to fix it, I can't answer that question.
Just in general, I mean, I feel like we're so divided. Where do you see
I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it hasn't always been like that. I mean, I'm 73 years old. I don't ever remember being this nasty as it is right now. I got my opinions about things, and we shouldn't go into that. I mean, I don't want to make this a political discussion.
No.
No matter what I say, somebody's going to disagree with me. But I don't see why it's all that hard. Why can't we work together?
Gotcha. Well, I'm just saying, our deficit obviously is just crazy. I mean, from my viewpoint, you're a finance guru. I mean, you get it down. You focus on minimizing the risk in business in general.
Yes.
So, when did you come across I guess you said it's a philosophy, not using the banks, using private. I guess your philosophy of not using the banks.
Long time ago. Probably, I don't know. I quit using banks to buy real estate, actually, back in the 80s. I used private money when I was buying the junkers back then. But today, I'm heavily into the pretty house business, which means we buy on terms, which means either the seller financing or we take over the seller's debt or release it with an option to buy. None of that requires any banks anyway.
Okay.
So in that side of the business, which is most of the business, in my opinion, no need for banks. So even in the ugly house business, I started using private money when I first started, except I got my money through a mortgage broker, loan shark I called him. It took me about 3 years before I started getting to myself from just ordinary people, and I started making the rules on borrowed money. So banks were out of my life really early.
Really?
Yeah, except when I got into this commercial development things back in 2005, 6, and 7, and then 08 took it all out. But then I was only borrowing money for the big commercial projects that were worth the risk.
Gotcha.
Timing sucked, but would have been worth the risk if we didn't have the recession.
Ron, you considered the godfather of real estate investing. How on earth, I mean, you came up with ARV. Could you just tell me how did you come up?
I don't know, just thought about it one day. That stands for after repaired value. What the house is worth in excellent shape. Just put the words together and it spelled ARV spelled out after repaired value. Wasn't any big secret to it. I should have patented it, shouldn't I?
I mean, everyone uses it now.
I know.
How does this stuff?
I use a lot of things I created, but I don't get any royalties. I don't care.
Gotcha. Acronym. We talked about the
Yeah,
things.
that's all it is. Like Mayo, maximum allowable offer.
Did you come up with that one too?
Of course I did.
You came up with Mayo.
Absolutely.
Was it how on earth did you learn this stuff, Ron? I mean, who was teaching you?
I learned it the same way we all learn it. I went to a lot of seminars, took a lot of classes, and did a lot of business. And I learned it actually doing the business.
But there were no acronyms when you came up with the acronyms, Ron. I mean,
I don't know. I don't remember how long. I've been at this 38 years, Chris.
Well, I want this interview I want it to last, man. I think about this stuff. How the heck, as I'm doing the work, and I'm like, that's the ARV and Mayo. Never thought you'd have that type of impact. So, Ron, I want to matter. One of the things that I wake up in the morning, I'm like, who am I mattering to? Do you think about that at all?
Nope. I really don't. I already know that I made my impact. I've changed a lot of lives. I don't even know how many. If anybody tells you they know how many, they're lying. I don't know how many, hundreds of thousands at least. I still do that to this very day. I do it better now than I ever have, actually, because of what I've learned over the years. So I already matter. I have no need to matter anymore.
Gotcha.
I don't have to change the world any more than I've already changed it, so I don't worry about things like that.
Wow. What drives you to get from your father? Ron, when you're putting together your courses and live trainings, you got so much stuff, so many trainings, a lot of it I've been to.
I do.
How did you come up with this stuff?
I just sit down and ask myself, what is the next step that I would do? And I put it in the book. I mean, I don't make it up. It's not seminar crap. It's actually the things that have to be done to get a thing done to a conclusion. And there's not a whole lot of research for me to do because I already know this stuff.
You are the research.
Yeah, I am the research, actually. When I think about it, I've done 3,000 houses and I quit counting 12 years ago. I don't know how many houses I've done. I don't even care anymore. When you do that many houses, you do that many deals, you don't have to research anything. So I put it in an order that I think is simple enough that anybody can understand it. And that's my forte, actually. I simplify everything because I am a simple guy, honestly. I think simple, and I want everybody to be able to follow the steps.
Gotcha.
Unlike some of the things that I bought lately, I can't even understand what the directions say. Trying to fix a lock on my RV door the other day. Who can read this thing? So I had to go on YouTube and watch a video.
YouTube?
Yeah, I watch a video on how to set my lock. That's the truth. YouTube fixes everything, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
If it ain't YouTube, it's Google. I guess the same now, isn't it?
Well, I guess I got two more, Ron. I'm
Yeah.
going to get out of here.
All right.
How did business before pre-internet, Ron? I'm just going to imagining you moving the way
It's
you
all
moved.
manual, man. Absolutely.
Could you just give us a snapshot of that, Ron?
Well, let's say I was making offers on junkers. We had this big, thick MLS book. Okay. We just looked through there what I wanted to go look. I literally get in my car and I go out and ride around, look at ugly vacant houses all day. I did that about 3 days a week.
Wow.
I think about that now. It's so ridiculous to do that now.
Yeah.
And everything we had to do. I bought my first fax machine in 1985. It cost $3,000. And then I thought, gee, who am I going to fax to? Nobody else got one of these things. So I went down to my title company. I said, you're going to buy one of these, so I asked somebody to fax to. So we went back and forth. I bought my first car phone in 1985. It wasn't a cell, it was a radio type phone.
Yeah.
Big old box thing like that. But I was cool, man. Had me a Toyota wagon with a phone in it.
I bet you looking good.
1985. In fact, I bought my first computer in 1985. It was a Philips. I think I paid $5,000 for that thing. Probably got as much power in it as your watch does today. A lot less, actually. And, we used what we had.
Yeah.
And along about that was when the Apple Macintosh, well, that was a revolutionary new invention, the Apple Macintosh. Now it would be a boat anchor.
Yeah.
I just embrace technology. I very slowly embrace technology. I can tell you that right now. And most of what I do use, even today, I don't do. I know what I need to get done. I'm definitely not going to be the person to get on the computer and do it.
Wow. I love that philosophy. Ron, what do you want the world to remember you when you're gone?
Kris, I don't give a crap. I'll be dead. Is that what you wanted me to say, or should we do that one?
No, I'm good with that. I want to know the truth. I was like, do you think about this stuff? I mean, you got so much.
Honestly, I don't. Look, I go through life telling it like it is, dealing with the people who want to deal with me. We don't make up a bunch of whoppers. We don't have to go lie, cheat, or steal to anybody. I ain't worried. When I get up in the morning, I'm very happy with what we did the next day. I got nothing to apologize for. And so I think that's what people are going to remember about me. Probably tell it like it is guy, because that's the reputation I got.
Gotcha. Okay, Ron, that's all I got for you, my friend.
That's it?
Well,
That's all you got? I thought you was going to ask me some hard questions.
Round Up Family, we've got Ron LeGrand here. Let me ask you for my audience, Ron, I'd like to know, what would you like the Real Estate Roundup family to know?
I would like them to know that you are capable of doing anything you want to do, regardless of what all the people, the dream stealers around you are trying to tell you. Be very careful to whom you listen. You cannot get rich listening to broke people. They all have an opinion. It's worthless. They have no clue. If they knew, they wouldn't be broke. Take a little time to study whatever it is you want to get into, and with all the information there is out there today, that shouldn't be hard to find. Hang around the people that are doing things, not just talking about it. And believe me, the people that are talking are everywhere, and honestly, they do not want you to succeed. Now think about it. Do you really think the people you hang around want you to go up here and leave them wallowing in self-pity down here? No. So be careful what you listen to, because they'll give you all this great advice and you'll internalize it, but it's all garbage. So hang around the people that are getting things done, and quit hanging around the people that aren't getting anything done but talking and criticizing, condemning, and complaining like you see on the television every single day. If you're busy getting something accomplished, creating something in the world, making money, or doing whatever it is you want to do, you don't have time to worry about all that garbage people are belly aching about. Just go out there and make your mark, and believe me, when you do it the way you think it ought to be done and you start achieving things, people will find their way to you. People only want to hang around winners, not whiners. Don't be one of those whiners. We got enough of those out there.
Well, Ron, I know you mentioned, I've heard you say, well, when we come out of the womb, we come out to possibly broke parents. We
Yep.
go home,
Yep.
we go to daycare with a broke teacher.
That's right.
We go to school.
With broke teachers. We go to college with broke teachers. We come out and we work with broke people all day. We're conditioned to be broke. And if you're conditioned to be broke, you can be conditioned to be rich. And frankly, there ain't nothing stopping you from being rich that is not located between this year and this year. Okay? We don't need money to buy real estate. And I'm sure you don't believe that, unless you've been hanging around him a long time. Well, you won't believe it till you get the check. We do not need money to buy real estate. We certainly do not use credit. Because if I catch you using your credit, I'm going to send Guido after you. He's 6'8", he weighs 380 pounds, tattooed from head to toe, and he's going to draw blood. Ain't going to be his. We don't need credit. I hope your credit score is minus 680, and you won't be even thinking about using it. Because I'm telling you, it's the worst mistake you can make. So if I don't need money and I don't need credit, what's stopping me? I'll tell you the answer is education. Get the education and then implement it. Watch how fast things change. What happened to you? Was you rich when you was born?
I was not.
Was you rich when you started?
I was not.
Okay, well, how'd you get here, man? Was it Santa Claus bring all this to you? No. One little piece at a time, wasn't it?
One piece at a time.
That's how all success is achieved. One piece at a time, but we got to start with that first piece. This is, hey, the roaring 20s.
Wow.
Make it happen.
I see they're looking for you, Ron. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. See ya.
Good seeing you, Ron.
Mission accomplished.
Roundup family, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you for coming here tonight. And what today I wanted to do was share with you not only real estate, but I wanted you to hear his philosophies, his views, his ideologies, because what I've learned hanging around Ron, you get to hear how he processes stuff, not only just real estate. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this content if we poured into you. Thank you as we approach 51,000 subscribers and almost 4.5 million views. Roundup. I will see you soon. This is Kris Haskins with TheRealEstateRoundup.com. Peace.